close, but it faded away and was taken by the French super squad. The fury of the French was too much. However, can Renegades start to bring it back, delving into our second map of Dust2? Only time will tell, as we'll kick it off now.
Let's see then. Renegades going to be starting on their T side. Team Vitality on CT. Smoke off towards short here from the boys from down under, as they're going to be going fast towards short and most likely flashing over towards A and making this one fast-paced.
The short burst going to be the deciding factor going into this one, as the Molotov gets cast across, going to force back RPK. Oh, it looked like it was setting himself for a bit of a shooting gallery there. Instead, he's going to be the one shot at and left lifeless on the ground by Liaz. ZywOo rotates back around, a bit of a panic spam coming through with his USP. Not as calculated as we expect to see, but MBK is still doing damage. 2 heads found for the man, continuing on their warpath, as Alex will double down as well, and it's all up to Azza. In a 1 versus 3, this is going to be very awkward for him, as the shot is found by Alex, and that will be the defuse for Vitality.
Bomb was planted for him, but unfortunately there, 1 versus 3, too awkward of a situation to have. But how surprising, Jack. Even you sounded surprised. Alex with 3 kills from a 5 versus 3 all the way down to a 3 versus 1 in favor of Vitality. Very well played on the retake, even though Renegades have the opening kills there towards the site. Round 2 then, 1-0 for Vitality, and for Renegades, the bomb going down, the question is, do they force? Have they dropped over an AK? Yes, they have, of course. Az is on $100 and Jacob has it. So I like to call this one the CIS force buy. We saw it popularized by Na'Vi. And with that, 1 player drops over an AK. If the bomb is planted, you have that risk and you take it. We saw JK with the sole AK saved from one of the last rounds on Mirage, and actually went on to convert that round into a round win.
Renegades, again, looking like they're going to be tempting fate with the idea of going for this play over towards short and rotating in towards the A site. Although, they've given Jacob an AK, and they're going to look to see if he can probe out and do a little bit of damage himself as he goes through with a mid to B play.
Push coming in towards middle here. And with that sole AK, they can play past the parcel. If he does die, JKS can take it out of his hands. But Alex down to 2 HP. It's actually going to be ZywOo, the first player to drop out of the server. And Alex is low as well. This could very much be around for Renegades. They're going to be grouping up towards short. Alex, as I said, is low. He's playing the headshot angle, I imagine, towards the default site. Yes, he is. RPK's there to back him up as well with the smoke and Molotov. 50 seconds remaining as the smokes do come out towards short. Let's see then what Alex can do.
Oh, Alex with the spray down. It could have been juicy, but all he did was set up RPK to roll back the ears and roll back some scalps whilst he's at it as well. Peeling back Azza, Liaz, anyone that wanted to come towards him, he was ready to take him down. Vitality picking up a tasty second round there with ease.
Just like that, 2-0. Going to be the force by now coming out from Renegades as the bomb was planted in the first. Orb for Grena's faction, but with no Kevlar. Apart from that, though, a great buy across the board. Azza obviously dropping the AK in the first round, but he has the UMP here with a smoke and flash. This faction with the tag onto MBK. That will make that B side a lot weaker, and JKS is going to try to take advantage of it.
Molotov's already in, but he's bypassed it. I mean, it's just going to take 1 shot there on towards MBK to take him down, although Apex will trade it. The victory jump from JKS not going to be enough to save him there. Apex with a hefty nade as well. He might be doing damage, but he's not getting the kills. Jacob with the trade finds the headshot, and it leaves them into a 4 versus 3. The retake for Vitality is going to be a bit awkward, so maybe Renegades have already found an opening to get themselves a first round on the board here, as Vitality might just call it quits and save this one.
Yeah, they should, especially retaking that B-bomb site. So awkward, including the fact that Liaz has the smoke to dish out towards the double doors there on B. It's going to extend how long the retake would take for Vitality. And yeah, as you said, Jack, they're going to be going for the safer option, just throw in the towel and save onto the remaining 3 weapons they have here. And with that, Apex can invest into an M4. Alex as well is going to receive $1,900, so he'll actually have $3,100, so he can actually drop over. Oh, actually, no, excuse me. He won't. He'll have enough for a FAMAS, though, so they can get a FAMAS worked up for MBK. And yeah, Jack, they can have a fairly good buy here. FAMAS, a UMP, 3 M4s as well. They will lack an AWP for ZywOo, but they will have a good enough buy to go for a force.
Renegades going to be able to pick up the round. As you'd expect, the fast, heavy-hitting play there in towards the B site worked out well, and again, it falls back into what we saw being the real staple for Renegades on Mirage. Gratisfaction getting the early opening. That's what we need coming through from them. That is going to be what gives them the edge, as he's been very effective at getting those early punishing picks with the AWP. If you can keep that up, it's really going to start to make Vitality sweat a bit going into this one. Let's see if he can go 2 for 2. Oof. Fast snap, but not actually landing the shot this time.
Let's see then. Default now coming out for Renegades, 2 towards long. 2 players situated towards middle, and of course, JKS there towards B lower. May get met though, and matched by RPK if he does stick his head out. Slight tag there against MBK, but it's going to be Zywoo up close with the UMP. Should get the trade frag. It's actually MBK though, with the scout through the doors of all places. And now with that, the information has been gathered. Alex frantically making his way back towards the A site now as the execution is going to come towards A here from Renegades.
Alex with a flash in the air as he tries to play around the smoke. It doesn't work out too well for him though, as Jacob still fights through the blindness and gets the frag. The elevated tower of pain being put into play here by Vitality though. MBK quickly making his move over, expecting some suspicious shenanigans from the rear as he wants to get up on short to be able to complement Zywoo on the retake. They've got control of the site. The smoke is down as well to try and block this off. There's somewhat utility left remaining for them as they can flash their way back in. But it's going to be awkward from this point forward as that's the last of the defensive utility cast. Now Apex needs to get the kill. Zywoo comes through with one as well, and it's all on Liaz. 4 HP in a dream. The Krieg gonna let him down as he'll be punished by the P2K, and another round will be claimed for Vitality.
3-1. Great retake there coming out from Vitality. It was the 1-for-1 exchange earlier on when MBK got the trade frag. And from that, Alex and Code is frantically coming back towards A. Managing to make it 3-1 as we head into the 5th round now. Enough money here as well for Renegades to go for the rebuy, try and fight back against Vitality here in the 5th. And with that, 3 AKs, Orb coming out for Gratisfaction, UMP for Liaz. But for me, Jack, that Orb from Gratisfaction, the last map, was so pivotal. And here he is now with a great spawn towards B. Let's see if he can open things up.
He can be so huge with it. Very influential of a player when he's actually given a little bit of room to roam. Although MBK is going to be the one who's going up against to try and get the early entry. The nades are being cast in as well. A small sliver of damage that won't really do too much in terms of stopping power. And Jacob looks to try and be the entry fragger on this one. Although MBK popping off with 2. Sure, Gratisfaction gets the kill he wanted, but he's already lost 2 of his brother-in-arms. And this really does leave them in quite a predicament.
Minute 15 remaining. 4 versus 3 here, and all 3 remaining players from Renegades going to be slowly following their way down the stairs here at B lower. Aggression coming out from RPK towards long, so he's going to be gathering information. So they know they're going to be situated probably towards middle. That would be the best guess to make, especially now as Alex is flashed by Apex to peek in and get into a very good position here to spot towards Xbox and catch the Renegades players if they are jumping up to go towards short.
Oh, Alex behind the door.
He's going to hear the scope.
Is it going to work out for him, though? He spots out the scope. Gratisfaction, that's the 2nd time he's been able to find a kill like that, where he shouldn't be having the edge. Somehow, he just overthrows instantly, gets the kill, and this really puts them into a position to try and bring this back now. They're going to smoke out as if they're going for the mid to B play. Zywoo's going to spot this and be so heavily focused as he's spamming out a couple of warning shots there in towards the smoke, hoping to at least tag someone up. They double back round towards B. They can overwhelm here. Apex is the only one on the scene. He's got an elevated angle, but does it work out well for him? The awkward panic spam.
Oh.
Somehow they run into it, and he gets the follow-up frag on Azza. Gratisfaction needs to go crazy, and he's not able to. Apex completely overwhelms them.
Brilliant anchor there from Apex. 4 versus 3, and Apex is good enough for all 3 of those remaining Aussies. Round 6 then, 4-1. This should be the Eco coming up from Renegades now. They've been struggling early on. So, this is the round for Vitality here early on their CT side to really start to farm up the money. You can see after the buy comes through, their money is still very low considering they've strung rounds together. Apart from that, they're versus an Eco, no armor, just gonna be an invested scout for Azza. This should mean at least, what, $3,500, $4,000 a piece here for Vitality as long as they can make this one clean and efficient.
Well, they've just got the Deagles, pretty much. Azza being there on the scout. Gratisfaction just with a Glock as he wants to try and keep his money a bit higher to get back on that AWP as soon as possible. At this point, though, it's just a matter of what do they try and do going into the round. The single flashbang from Gratisfaction could set themselves up to try and go for this flash in off short and just overwhelm anyone that's on the site. Although we've seen a lot of success coming through from this defense, and Zywoo's there. Primed and ready, hard scoped in over towards short. So if they go slowly, they're just going to be offering themselves up as some kind of suicide squad. Let's see if the sacrifices will be there, though. Gratisfaction primes the flash. It goes over. Doesn't do anything. Allows ZywOo for the first. He wants to chuck in the Molotov as well to burn their pathway and make it harder for them. Alex barely taking the fights when he needs to. Everyone coming through with a couple of tasty frags here and there. The only one that's going to go down is ZywOo. Alex as well suffers the same fate. But RPK, the linchpin as ever, finds another kill, rounds it up to 3 into the round, and Vitality take themselves a 5th.
5-1 was versus the Eco, though. And now it's going to be versus the buy, and this is where things do get interesting. Renegades have found a lot of success. Well, I say a lot of success, just off a few rounds of that. The pistol in the first round they won towards A short. Get up towards A short. Smoke off towards the angle towards the site, and then essentially just flash over and burst up there. But Vitality, though, Jack, it's their retakes. I mean, the retake on the pistol, the retake when there's 4 players from Renegades towards long. All so perfect. And so is ZywOo sometimes. It does open things up here. 5 versus 4. Minute 35 seconds left on the clock. And all the players from Renegades can be situated here towards middle.
Jacob, very effective at being able to get these early picks on the board now. As he finds another one, trading it back, leaving them in a 4 versus 4. Alex, the wild man, spam. Oh, NBK, through the blindness, calling Daredevil, the natural born killer, starting to roll back the years and do some source levels of damage as he's getting a bit saucy. Gratisfaction barely holding on to stay alive as well as he dabs his way in towards the bomb site. NBK leaps over his head and punishes him with a P250. Now this is starting to look more like a Vitality game.
6-1, NBK. Even got the tag as well onto Gratisfaction towards that B-bomb site. Making things look easy. And it's not too easy here for Renegades, as they are going to be on about, what, $3,000 here, Jack? So most likely give it a quasi-buy. Obviously, their round loss bonus is now built up. They can just invest into, you know, Deagles, maybe Kevlar, light utility as well, and Scout as well for Azza. But apart from that, nothing really too concrete to work off of. 3 players towards long for Vitality. This is going to be Apex this time playing passive towards middle, so they're expecting something towards long here from Renegades. Maybe in the next buy round, as they have been able to get on towards the A site. And obviously they had that burst play towards B early on as well. That worked out for them. But ever since then, it's all been for Team Vitality. So, towards short then. Deagles, pistols for Gratisfaction and co. ZywOo, though, not going to be playing on towards the default site, playing towards car. Very passive, just waiting for them to walk into his scope. Could be potentially, though, Jack, for a burst or a flashbang over. Blind ZywOo, they can burst on towards the site. There could be something for a plant, potentially.
Well, that's a nice nade. You can see they've done an awful lot of bowling in their downtime for the team bonding, as it's going to be able to blow Azza straight out of the server. Gratisfaction looking to try and trade it back with a Scout. The one who could potentially have the most impact into the round, but you know what? It's just ZywOo doing ZywOo things. Easy frags being found from the AWP to just punish everyone that comes towards him, and it should be simple pickings on the last 2 as well, as they're trapped, isolated towards the A site. It's a 4K for ZywOo as he's starting to get fired up.
Right, let's see something from Renegades. We've seen a tactical timeout, the first one so far in the second map. Remember, gentlemen and ladies out there watching from home, 7-1 up on map 2. Vitality took the first on Mirage 16-12. And that was the map pick from Renegades. But Vitality were 13-5 up. And Renegades managed to bring it back on their CT side and look strong. So maybe foreshadowing this map as well, if Renegades start slow on their T side, Jack, and then, you know, wake up on the second half. But so far, it hasn't been looking the most promising for them. Or for Gratisfaction, it's going to be the full buy coming out from Renegades. And with that pause, it's tough. I mean, what do? Do they go for more of a default play it slow, take control towards long, take control towards A short, then execute somewhere, either towards mid to B, towards the A side from short? Do they allow Gratisfaction to play for picks? I mean, if he has a good spawn, then potentially. But yeah, hasn't really had the best spawn, so he's going to be holding for a mid-peak, but no one's going to be showing it to him. Instead, Vitality going 4 towards long.
Yeah, it's a bit of a elaborate play. The heavy stack, expecting potentially a long bombardment to come out through the house. Heavy stacked with the nades, it would have completely eradicated everyone that came towards them, but that's not the case. Instead, it's the early drop from Azza straight into CT, trying to cause some disruption, but instead it's just going to be the punish from the AWPs. 2 frags found for NBK, response there from Gratisfaction as well. Apex showing that he might have a scope and deal some damage with it, as he rips the head clean off of Gratisfaction, leaving it up to JKS. This round is over in a matter of seconds at this point, as it's not looking likely for the Savage to try and bring it back. ZywOo plucking him out of the air. All of the frags found with scoped weapons into that round, and It was rapid as well. 8 rounds now accumulated for Vitality. They're locking it down their CT side.
Locking it down indeed. 8-1, 7-round deficit now for Renegades as they're going to be back onto that quasi-buy. Pistols, light utility, flashes, smokes, if that. They have Kevlar to work with as well. But at this point, though, Jack, they need rounds on the board ASAP. If Vitality get to 9, 10, 11 on their CT half, all they need is their second half pistol, and the game is pretty much theirs. But Renegades here, grouping up outside this B-bomb site. It's down to MBK with an AWP. And then Apex, of course, with the AUG. He's been so strong at anchoring towards that B site. But with the AWP there, there's the caveat, Jack, that maybe the flashes could work and maybe they can swarm their site and basically get around that AWP.
The cross of smokes going out towards mid early on. MBK's been doing an awful lot of damage with that AWP, so they want to try and restrict his vision as much as possible if they are going to be able to execute their way out. What? NBK hits the no-scope through the smoke and kills Gratisfaction as they're trying to push their way out towards the site. That is ridiculous, and he's looking for more as well. The Deagle comes out to play. He might not be landing the shots with that, but it doesn't matter. He's had enough showstoppers in that one. Alex with the double kill as well. The M4 punishes them and takes them down.
What? I didn't even see it, Jack. I look at the radar for 1 second to see who was close, who was there for the rotate, how long till the cavalry arrives. But actually, MBK was all that was required. But versus the Ecos, we can't hype it up too much. This is the round that should be important.
Look at
there
this,
we go.
though.
Replay. Let's take a look. Oh, my goodness. Dirty, disgusting counter-strike there from MBK. As it is now 9-1 in favor of the boys in blue. But a fast long take hit coming out from both teams.
That is absolutely outrageous. If they can keep that up, God help Renegades at this point. The boys down under need to do some damage right now. It looks like they're trying to throw another shrimp on the Barbie, though, as everyone is getting eradicated by the Molotovs. The flames are burning higher and higher, and Renegades are dropping lower and lower in terms of the battle of attrition. They've only got 3 players left to work with. The AWPs have been doing absolutely everything across this series so far, and Gratisfaction still wants to show he's got more fight left in him. They do need to recover the bomb. They don't have much manpower to work with either, but the elevated angle from Jacob should be a bit of a difference maker. He gets one. NBK trying to scavenge and scrimp and scram what he can find.
Such an important kill there, Jack, towards middle. Now into the 3 versus 2. They know exactly where the remaining 2 players are from Renegades. And there you have it. Alex with the organ to find the final one. MBK there. Such a pivotal kill there towards middle. If he had died, they could have had the bomb. Rotate all the way back towards T-spawn. I believe it was Azza that did die to MBK at mid. But if he did win that duel, Azza can hold off the rotations from middle. The remaining players with the bomb for Renegades can go T-spawn towards B, and that could have been the second round for Renegades. But instead, Natural Born Killer lives up to his name and gets that frag. And now double digits here for Vitality on their CT side as we head into round number 12. And once again, the quasi-buy for Renegades.
Just delegated once again back down to the pistols in a bit of an awkward spot, as they're going to be grouped up, ready to overwhelm, going in to that fabled site. And MBK, again, in a position to potentially cause some shenanigans with the AWP. Can they isolate in this time at the very least? They've got an awful lot of defensive utility to play with. So many flashes, so many smokes, but they don't have defense against Apex. The Predator himself, lying in wait, will only claim 1. NBK trapped towards the site, can't do too much. At least Alex is there. And he is going to be able to punish him with the M4. Of course, he wants more. Going to go for it. Gratisfaction down and out. And Vitality to 11, making quick work out of the Renegades rush.
10-round advantage now for Vitality on their CT side. Let's see how high that advantage can get as Renegades now have a buy to work with. And in the last buy round that we saw just 2 ago, Vitality actually had no one play towards B. They had MBK AWP towards middle at the start of the round. They had 4 players, or the remaining 4 players for Vitality, all go towards long, expecting Renegades to rush towards that position. And that's exactly what came to fruition. But this time, fast towards underpass. This could be a very fast burst and split from middle towards B, or vice versa towards A if they can find the kill onto MBK.
Oh, MBK. This man is absolutely giving it right now. He's rolled back the years. Unfortunately, he's been put into an early grave by Lias to kick this one off. Barely escaping, but from beyond the grave, of course, NBK with a martyrdom.
Alex as well chimes in for more with the AWP. Tags up Gratisfaction through the door. Will be smoked off though, and he can jump on the box here and get an elevated angle and peer over it and try and deny the split towards B from Renegades. Push as well from RPK in towards long, so a lot of information to be gathered there. They have Sai Wu with the AWP holding off towards short. And now as Alex gets ever more aggressive, things could really heat up here as Jacob, again, makes things work. All down here towards Apex at B. Ooh, Jesus Christ, that was
See you
crisp.
later, Apex. JKS, precision there coming through. Jacob as well, chiming in as they'll get the shot off onto RPK. And it is all down to the main man himself. Oh, he's getting tagged up very heavily, though, Snods. The chance of him winning this round dwindles further and further away. It might be ZywOo. But even sometimes, the Giant has to fall back and try and save. Not today, though. Spotted out by Jacob, the kill comes through as we get into really the later stages of this first half now. It's 11-2. Renegades have only just found themselves their second round. If they're going to get anything else out of this, it has to be flawless, Snods.
Let's see then, the worst possible scenario here would be the reset. Actually, with the new money, considering they have $3,000, it's actually not the worst case scenario. Maybe if just, you know, one player, say, Greatest Faction survived, then it would have been awful for their money. But they will just go down to $2,100 if they can, or buy if they lose this one, Jack, with the new money system. But early tag against Alex, but the early frag is going to be with ZywOo against Jacob. 5 versus 4, minute 35 seconds remaining on the clock here in the penultimate round, number 14. That's all remaining players now from Renegades gathered up towards a long, and they're up against him. Alex, RPK, and now MBK as well towards short, here to defend.
Alex, he's been flashbanged through the smoke. He didn't realize there was a player close by, but he's not even prepared for the one in the distance. JKS instantly rips through him with a Krieg. A beautiful kill to find. Liaz with a spam into the smoke as well. Spots out RPK and eradicates him. And this is where it really starts to get awkward. Apex, MBK, and ZywOo roaming in, but can they retake and reclaim what is their land? Apex with the first, gets the kill back onto JKS. Gratisfaction in the Battle of the Orps is proving to be the top dog. Nearly hits the no-scope through, but it'll be Liaz to find the headshot with a Kalashnikov as it goes 11-3. Renegades, they are not done yet.
Alex getting tagged up there by Gratisfaction. Crossing towards B, actually made a major impact there towards Car. Obviously, just 20 HP, went down after one bullet. Could have an impact there on denying the cross from long towards the A site from Renegades. So the early exchange being very potent in the later round. But final round here, the first half in map number 2. And with how things have shaped up, Jack, maybe our last map of the day. It's Molotov out of the position there towards long. Going to be switching out with Gratisfaction, the AK to the AWP. In a much slower round here from Renegades, typically they just charge out towards long, they charge up short, they try to go for a pick towards B. Instead, they're really slowing the tempo down.
Round 15. A minute and 25 seconds left on the clock here. A slow round coming through from Renegades as they don't want to rush it and throw it all away. Although ZywOo, hiding in the shadows. The individual power of this man is absolutely outrageous. The stuff he can do is dominant. But Gratisfaction wants to prove he can do more. Goes for the fast face, gets the kill with the AWP, opens up the round. Damage done onto Alex as well to try and thwart the defensive attempt. It's an awkward save on the AWP. He's gonna grab it, but it's too little too late. He's exposed. He gets shot in the back. And this is where it all comes down to the Source superstar. If they're going for the play onto this A site, RPK needs to run rampant.
5 versus 3. This is looking so good for the Aussies here. All 5, though, stacked up towards short, which means MBK has the forward position. Gratisfaction holding and waiting patiently as he makes another 2 versus 5. They may actually just go back towards B here, Jack. There's no reason to commit towards A. You know Apex is typically towards B, but you know RPK is an anchor towards the A site. And essentially, pick your poison at that point. Do you go for A or B? And they have made the correct choice here. Game of cat and mouse, and they've won it. And Vitality, no reason to say they have to go for this, Jack, as it is round 15.
It's do or die. It's your final attempt to fight it. RPK should get first contact here towards the lower tunnels, but Azza already swinging as he'll body slam his way through RPK. Apex tries to trade it, will get that, but can he get any more? Surely not, as he pushes his way through. There's the trade. Jacob will kill him, and they do at least get themselves to a 4th round. 11-4 at the half. This is Vitality's map pick. Will they thrash Renegades in the second half? We'll find out after the break. Vitality leading far ahead of the curve right now. One map already picked up, Mirage was claimed, and now they look like they want to do the same here on Dust2. 11-4 Snods as we get back into the action on the second half. Renegades, they move on to their CT side. If they've got any fight left in them, if Gratisfaction has any more tricks up his sleeve, that wizard needs to pull them out right now.
Round 16, as you said, let's see then. 26-1. Wow, I thought we were only going to see it with the 15-1 or the 15-0 scoreline with Liquid versus NP, but that is interesting seeing it again. Maybe the guys at Betway are watching. I wanted to meme us out. Either way, big round here for Renegades if they want to stay in IEM Chicago. Otherwise, they're probably going to be going home if it gets to that 14-4 scoreline when you factor in the conversion rounds. But Team Vitality, we know they like to group up and play fast on their pistols, and fast as they come as they charge up towards B.
Oh, the awkward spam from Gratisfaction as he tries to get himself a second into the round, but it's all coming up CT-sided right now. Renegades are overthrowing each and every one of them, although RPK tries to kick it off with a little bit of a bang. Wanted to give us some kind of hope there for the French superstars, but the fury wasn't enough from RPK. He is going to go down, and Renegades, they are gifted a lifeline. This is where it needs to be flawless from this point forward, though, Snods. There is no room for error.
Lifeline has been dished out to Renegades here. The final map is Vertigo, if it does go that far. 2 UMPs. FAMAS there for Jacob, M4 for Gratisfaction, and the AUG for Liaz. But a force spike coming up from Vitality here. Jack is the scout, AK, CZ, P250 and Deagle coming out from the French side. And with that AK, it's going to be coming in towards B lower. Spotty to see if someone was boosted early towards short. But instead, look how passive Renegades are playing. They have 2 players in the A site, 1 playing towards A long with the Orc, that's Liaz. And apart from that, two playing towards the B site as the anchors. So very passive play here from Renegades, which is good and bad. Obviously, you have the range against the pistols when you have your rifles. But the issue as well, Jack, is if those pistols make their way onto the site, it can be very, very tricky.
Gratisfaction getting very aggressive as he wanted to try and go for a deep play in there. Got a spam off onto Apex, took him down to 10 HP. They're setting themselves up. They are going to try and go for this overwhelming rush, it seems, off of short to try and bombard towards the A bomb site. It just depends when that call is going to be made. They have free smokes. They can smoke from mid to B as well, create a bit of a ruse, a seed of doubt in the minds of the Renegades to make them believe potentially this is going to be a play towards the B site. They've got free flashbangs as well, so they can light up the sky and daze and confuse everyone that is defending towards the A site. Although Azza, he has a flash of his own. He can counter this as the push comes through. He's just trying to bait for his teammate there as the flashbang will go over. This is where Gratisfaction will go for the wide swing out and try and work, but it doesn't work well. Alex knocks his blocks off, keeps running through, annihilates everyone that dares to defy him, although Liaz is the one to go monstrous into the round as he gets himself a 4K, all of the damage done from just one man. Apex left to save it as well with 10 HP, not a chance as JKS will find it, UMPs him down, and Renegades get a 6th.
Zaiwu and MBK grouping up together there to both be sprayed down by Liaz from the 3 versus 3. It looks so potent there for Vitality to take it, but they do line up to the spray from the AEG, and just like that, Apex left in a very awkward situation in a 1 versus 2 with that Scouts. So now the tides have turned. Eco coming out from Vitality. No Kevlar, just give me the Scout for MBK, but apart from that, pistols across the board with 1 flashbang. Flashbang in the hand of Alex over towards A long as MBK just missed the initial Scout hits, but he does get the hit through the door directly to the dome of Liaz. 5 versus 4, however, with no armor, still very likely. This should be in favor of the CTs, but how the hell are things going here?
That is so awkward. He should be getting that kill every time. Instead, though, destroyed by the Deagle. Luckily, it's going to return a little bit towards normality. Apex lurking around. It just depends on the timing of how this one's going to go. It could get so awkward as well. Jacob's not going to clear it. Jacob jumps on the box, exposes himself. Apex will find the kill. JKS with a savage response onto Zaiwu, but MBK with a big round. The Scout superstar looking like Chris J into that one as he does an awful lot of damage.
Indeed. My goodness, initially when he missed the first shot, got tagged up as well towards long. I thought that was the beginning of the end. And ironically as well, Jack, he was the only player to invest anything in that round. Everybody on Vitality was above $2,000. Apart from MBK, he invested in the scout, went down to $700. So if they had lost this round, the last one, then MBK would have been on what? A pistol, a UMP if that. So a major risk to take, but high risk and high reward, as now they are doubling the scoreline against Renegades, 12-6. And look at that cash for the Aussies. This is shaping up to be a double eco.
Only weapon they have to play with on the side of Renegades is just one singular Mag 7. Curious to see if that's actually going to get any chance to be used as well, as everyone is grouped up towards long. No one's heading over towards that B site right now. It is just going to be the Wolfpack play from Vitality. They've assessed the situation. They realize they've got the better firepower. They've got the range advantage. Keep your distance. Don't get up close and personal where the pistols are going to have prowess.
Yep. But now look how far back the pistols are playing here from Renegades. All the way back in CT spawn and back off towards short where Leaz is staying right now. But Gratisfaction may have an impact, as he has only got a CZ, so at range, it's not really the best weapon you want to pick. Zaiwu, though, with the scout towards long, should be able to deal with Gratisfaction easily enough, as he is backed up by Apex. But apart from that, Jacob, the lone shotgun, going to maybe try and save that into the next round, as it is going to be the eco coming up from Renegades. And on that bombshell, it is going to go 13-6 as the bomb does get eventually planted towards A.
Jacob getting up close and personal here with the Mag 7. If they did try and exit, he would have a chance, but in reality, they're probably all going to group up, they'll stay together, and they'll herd up. There's no reason for them to charge their way out through the longhouse and potentially give weapons away or free cash to the side of Renegades. So Jacob's been boosted up on top of the elevated angle. They cast the smoke in as well. They don't really need to fight this. They've got the spam out, they've spotted him, it's an easy kill now, and that is going to be the end of that only chance for Renegades.
So, during some dead air, let's fill in with some facts from our stat man, David. Dust2 is the best map for Vitality at big events so far in 2019. 70% win rate versus top-tier opposition on this map, and you can probably see why. The mix of skill, strategy, the team play, everything really coming to fruition. The last time Vitality played Dust2, they actually beat the #1 team in the world, Team Liquid, at the final of ES1 Cologne, 19-17 in overtime. So you can see the caliber of opposition they're used to playing on this map, and right now there's quite a discrepancy between these two teams on it.
Taste a little replay here of the RPK limelight as well into the opening round, where we thought maybe some magic was going to be made, although we didn't realize it was setting us up for the return to form instantly for Vitality. It's getting into round 20, it's 13-6, although Gratisfaction, he wants to go for a pick.
That was the replay from Leaz when he lined up the two players with that AUG. Oh, this is the 3K from Apex. Oh, okay, maybe not then. But it was the 3K from Apex, and in the meantime... Jack, I'm lost.
Well, we're on round 20. It's fine.
I'm lost.
RPK with a kill onto Gratisfaction. NBK as well going to come through, back down like a ton of bricks onto Leaz, as all of these are effectively the memories that are flashing through the minds of Renegades.
Just before your death, you know, your life flashing before you as it went in and out of replays. Now I'm not sure what is a replay, but it is round number 20, and in this one, Azza trying his luck with the jumping shotgun, does tag up two players to low HP, finishes off Zaiwu, goes for more as well, on towards RPK, and it's Apex towards short as well. Three of the players remaining here for Renegades, but it is going to be chopped apart there by the two players, RPK and MBK, as MBK made his way all the way from middle, back through those double doors, up that Xbox, and behind the two players coming in from short from Renegades, and that backstab was more than enough to secure round number 14.
It was a bit of a time travel round.
It was crazy, it was crazy. But I was so lost because it went back into the round, and then it went back into the replay, but the replay was on long as well.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, you know, what is reality?
Where even are we?
Where are we? Are we in Germany? Are we in Chicago? Are we back in England?
It randomly just cuts to a clip of Source Very Games. But either way, Zaiwu...
Oh, yeah. Inferno on B-side. A-side, sorry.
Still looking like he wants to do some damage to open it up with an early pick. RPK as well, straight through Gratisfaction. The murder continues onto JKS. Azza gets one, but it's not enough really at this point. It's got to be match point, surely.
There we have it, 15-6. 9 match points now in a row for Vitality to claim map 2 and basically finish our day off here on the B stream of IEM Chicago. Obviously, there is the... actually, let's take a look at it. There's the Ents versus Heroic game as well going on right now, which is currently... Let's take a look. I believe Ents won the first map. Yes, they did on Overpass. And now map 2, it is 9-6 on Nuke in favor of Ents. So maybe Ents and Heroic making their way out of Group B. And then the loser of that, most likely Heroic, maybe having another rematch against Vitality in the next best of 3.
Bear in mind, this is the elimination game as well, and it's the second map. Vitality already one map up, winning Mirage, so this round could essentially decide the fate of Renegades. They might be shipped off back home if they let this one slip away. It's a good start at least, as they're not willing to go down without a fight, and they have eliminated the main man. Effectively, the culmination of all the Infinity Gems put into the gauntlet. That is ZywOo. That's how he operates. But he is dead for the meantime. Liaz looks to get into a better position as well. Pushes up close towards the God B angle, sat outside the doors. Just going to re-smoke it with the scavenge smoke off the body and begins to fall back, at least burning time off the clock.
Speaking of the clock, a minute left here as Vitality are down a man early. RPK, Apex, both towards shore. MBK and Alex with the bomb in hand towards long. So most likely going to be a pincer play here towards the A site, 2 and 2 apiece. They still have to get through the wall of smokes, and through those smokes, Gratisfaction makes it 2.
Ooh, Azza with a spam down, although RPK will at least get one trade. At this point, it's all left on Alex. Can he do it for Queen and Country and try and save it going forward? The smoke goes down, suspects the angle being played by JKS. Delves through the smoke, though, as he's making his move up towards the A site. There is 25 seconds left on the clock here.
All he has to do is win the 1 versus Gratisfaction, because look exactly where Liaz is, towards A long. He's wasted too much time, though. Didn't quite get the kill on Gratisfaction. And now from behind is Liaz. Should be able to finish him, and indeed he does. Round number 7 for Renegades. We're going to the 23rd. But of course, with Vitality stringing rounds together, they can still afford a bye for a couple more rounds. And yeah, now it's 8 match points, basically just waiting for the inevitable here of the 16 to whatever it may be from Renegades, but there should be a 2-0 from Vitality.
It should be, in theory, at this point forward. It's going to be unlikely that Renegades can keep this up the whole time. It would definitely be a hard-fought fight, but they're looking like they're starting to come into form. So maybe if there was a chance, it would be now. ZywOo, though, back in play, has the AWP as well to cause some damage and disarray across the scene. Let's see if he can have a huge impact on the server going into round 23.
Control towards A long from Renegades as they leave Gratisfaction towards short. I imagine he's playing the Kenny S of the Shocks angle towards short, and indeed he is, so Apex may get a taste of his old former teammate. Flashbang goes in, blinds him up and falls back. Molotov will deter them momentarily though, as 4 players are basically here towards mid and towards short. RPK coming back as well, so they made us come out towards long and leave Apex to lurk towards short and try and have him flank later on if they do go for the play towards A from A long.
I still have utility to work with here. Vitality can definitely make a lot out of this round. The same can't really be said for Renegades. They're dwindling away in the actual reserves they have. Liaz going to have to drop his smoke out right in front of him. The only thing they have remaining is 2 flashbangs, but luckily they've got a bit of a killer. He's going to be able to pop off and find 1 frag, taking down Alex, at least slowing down the round initially. Gratisfaction Molotov'd off as well as he has to fall back towards Goose, but it might have set him up for success unintentionally. And luckily though, his head's been knocked clean off. MBK, the contract killer, comes through, an artist of an AK as he paints a pretty picture into the round, leaving us into a 3 versus 3. They're trying to get the bomb across towards the site. They're going to be able to get that down now. Apex can plant it just in the nick of time. With 15 seconds left on the clock, the bomb goes down.
It's not planted though for long, it's planted for the site, so Apex has to stay alive here. RPK towards long, may go for the flank towards short here, Jack, and that's exactly where all 3 remaining players from Renegades are. This could be such a strong backstab if he makes his move quick.
RPK, he spotted everyone. He knows they're there. He saw the back of their heels, and he's coming up to decimate. ZywOo distracts. RPK with 1. RPK with the double kill. As per usual, the Source superstar does some damage. 16-7 will be the overall scoreline. Renegades falter. They buckle under the pressure, and they will be going back down under. They have lost out here, finishing their tournament run at IEM Chicago.